looking for breakfast ideas, this crunchy Turkish breakfast dish börek is a perfect recipe that will be your family and friends' favorite. With the easy technique I'm gonna give, you will be amazed by the result and want to make it every week. This is Ayşenur Altan. Let's make it. I had 2/3 of a cup each yogurt, oil and milk, 2 teaspoons salt and baking powder, 1 egg and 2 tablespoons grape vinegar. First I'm going to add all the wet ingredients into my mixing bowl and give it a whisk. Adding 4.5 cups of flour along with salt and baking powder, and first I'm gonna mix with spatula and then knead by hand, adding more flour until I get a nice pliable dough. I'm gonna continue to knead on countertop, adding a little bit flour for about 4 to 5 minutes. It is important to knead the dough well to have a better result for our börek. I cut the dough into 2 even pieces and going to rest, covering first with a freezer bag and then kitchen towel. For the filling, I have 1 kilogram leek. I cut the green parts and cleaned, 1 medium-sized onion, 1 tablespoon pepper paste. You can use tomato paste if you like. Some olive oil, black pepper and salt. I'm using a big white pan for sauteing my veggies, and while my olive oil is heating, I dice my onion. I prefer to have the onion as well with my leek, but since it's the same family, if you don't want, you can use only leek. I'm gonna first cut into half and then slice as thinly as I can. My onion caramelized well for about 3-4 minutes, adding the chopped leeks, some salt and black pepper, and going to continue saute for a couple of more minutes. The leeks are reduced in size and got some color. I opened well in the pan and going to first saute the pepper paste with some more oil, and after about a minute I mixed everything again and cooked for a couple of more minutes, closing the lid. Before I begin to shape my börek, I'm gonna heat up some butter. About 100 grams would be enough, and I completed it with some vegetable oil to 120 grams. Simply I'm gonna melt both and it's gonna be ready. My dough is rested for about an hour. Now I'm gonna cut each piece into 10 After this point, I'm gonna use only starch. It could be either corn or wheat. Just going to shape into balls in 2 groups containing 10 pieces. And beginning from the first group, I'm gonna roll out my dough using starch again into dessert plate size, about 15 to 20 centimeters. Place the rolled dough and sprinkle enough starch to cover, and roll out the second dough. And place the dough into the first one. Between each dough pieces, we need enough corn flour to separate the dough. This is an important step, and continue to do the same steps to other 8 pieces. Now the second batch, I'm gonna do the same thing. Now beginning from the first batch, I'm gonna roll everything all together into big one piece. It should be bigger than the pan you're gonna use. In this case, I'm using classic a round pan, 40 centimeter, but it could be your oven pan, rectangular, doesn't matter, just roll out into rectangular then. It is big enough, very smooth and easy to roll, by the way. Even if you are doing it for the first time, just don't be afraid. I lightly oiled the pan and cut to fit into my pan. You're gonna use the excess dough to create another layer. Just gently fold and put it into the pan. It tends to shrink, so you can stretch a little bit to fit perfectly. And for the excess dough, I roll out a bit more to make it thinner, and made another layer just to fill. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure to use every bit. Again, I'm gonna roll out the second piece, but this time I'm gonna use oklava to make it bigger. If you use oklava from time to time, it opens up the layers that have a starch between them, so it helps, but doesn't matter. Otherwise, just use regular rolling pin. Before I place the second part of the dough, I'm gonna spread my filling. Next, I'm gonna add the pieces first and the round one. Since it weighted, it shrinks a little bit, as I said, so this time I roll out a bit more, so it was easier to fit. Close from the sides, and you can help sealing with a knife. Next we have to cut our börek first before it bakes. Use a sharpest knife and cut into squares. Generously spread the oil and butter mixture. You might think it is too much, but we have a lot of dough and it will cook with the help of the fat. I sprinkled some nigella and sesame seeds and baked in preheated 200 Celsius degree oven for about 35-40 minutes. You can perfectly see the layers and how crunchy it is, but to experience how delicious it is, you have to give it a try. This is a perfect sample of classic homemade Turkish börek, so give it a try and share your comments with me. I have many other börek recipes you can make from scratch and using filo sheets. Check the recipes from my description box below. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Afiyet olsun.